Okay, now we're going. Hi, I'm Sarah McMillan. I am an associate professor in agricultural and biological engineering at Purdue. And as Danny was talking about all the different soil features of wetlands, we're going to talk a little bit more about the plants. And I'm going to have my daughter Violet come over and help because this is part of her science education also. So wetland plants are a very special kind of category of plants. They can exist under wet conditions because their roots can get oxygen underwater. So like microbes that slow down the decomposition of organic matter during these flooded conditions, plants also need oxygen so that they can do their own kind of respiration or their own cellular work, like we call it. So if you come over here, you'll see these plants are kind of a combination of dead material from last year as well as new greening material. And these plants are growing up from, and we found a few brand new shoots popping up somewhere. Now I can't find them, of course. Did you remember where they were, Violet? No? I think I might see some over here. So these right here are brand new little shoots. If you pull back, you can see some under the different dead materials that are growing. So these plants, these sedges, all have the same root structure. So typically what happens with wetland plants is the roots grow in horizontal ways underneath of the soil, and then that allows the plants to come up and create new emergent vegetation, or the vegetation above the ground every spring when it gets warm. The plants also have a special kind of structure to their stems. So they almost act like straws. They are hollow, way more so than a normal plant you'd have in your garden. And you can kind of tell these plants are a little harder to see because they're a little bit dead, but you can kind of see on this one. See how it's very hollow in the middle? Can you see that at all? And essentially that acts like a way for a conduit or a flow path for oxygen to go down from the atmosphere into the roots so that the roots don't die. So if you have any house plants in your house and you water them too much, they don't live because their roots essentially drown. But wetland plants have special ways in which they can get oxygen down in there so they can survive those conditions. So those are some of the big characteristics of grassy kinds of species. One other cool thing about trees, so wetlands can have trees or grasses like these. These are called sedges. It's a special kind of wetland plant. But if you look over at this little tree, you see that one with the buttressed roots? So if you look really closely, you can see that the roots are kind of coming out at an angle. And that allows the tree to not only be a lot more stable under kind of soggy wetland soils, but it also allows those roots to kind of ride along the surface of the soil so that they get closer access to those oxygenated soils that bring oxygen into their roots. So, Violet, do you have any questions? No? Do you like being on TV? No. Okay, I think we're gonna journey to another little different type of wetland here near the Celery Bog and tell you a little bit more about that wetland in a minute.